the question and the answer are one and the same, that in order to shape your future, if you will, you have to think strategically. And that's part of what this is all about. The program that you're talking about, or the piece that you're talking about there, is, in fact, it's titled, Shape Your Future or the Future Will Shape You. And it's the basic idea that and by the way, this is not just for teenagers, it's for all of us. This really comes out of my book, The Gap Between Two Worlds, and it has to do with this, that let's just say that you were married for 30 years and your husband or wife walked up to you after 30 years and said, I don't like you anymore, I'm leaving. You are immediately thrusted into what we call the gap. So the gap is that space between the old world, your current world, and your new world, okay? So part of what I'm trying to say is that there are people that these sorts of things, this could be a job, a loss of a loss of a loved one, could be all sorts of things. But the point is that you don't understand the new world. You don't know what that's going to look like. And there will be a journey. But here's the point. Too many just begin the journey and never think about the future. They just, they may have in their mindset, well, things will work out. And so they just exist. They just go on this journey, and they may or may not end up in a place that is desirable. It may be worse than the situation they were in. My point is that you begin to strategically think about what the new world looks like. You start to shape it in your own mind. If it were job searching, what would the job look like? And so we're not going to get too heavy in this, with, of course, teenagers. But what we want them to do is, one, as with all the modules, is understand, to be conscious of the fact that there is a concept called strategic thinking. And it's about thinking into the future. Just understanding that becomes very important. And then we're going to give them some tools about how to imagine something, how to envision something, how to think about something in the future. So again, this tool, we don't expect that they would finish this module and go, okay, I've got my future worked out. No, we want them to carry this tool with them. So when they start to, for instance, both of my daughters went into college really not knowing what they wanted to do. They did not have this. One of them did, but the other one, she really had no clue. She had no understanding of what, as many times as we talked to her about it. But what we did say is, Christina, as you start to go into school, for some, school is in fact exploratory. It's an adventure. It's a self-discovery mode. What you should do, what we recommended that she do, is to just keep that strategic mindset as you go along. So maybe you run into somebody who's involved in some sort of a teaching program or something like that. It doesn't mean you have to go into a teaching program, but be curious. Ask them, what does that involve? You see, and so you start to process these things with a strategic mindset. You see, so that's it, essentially.